Do you think relationships are scary or intimidating? Take a walk with me. I want you to know that it's totally normal to have feelings of anxiousness around love and trust. But it's also not necessarily a bad thing. It's actually your nervous system telling you to pay attention. It's telling you to step back, zoom out, and take an inventory of your own thoughts, feelings, and emotions about this person or situation. And those feelings that you're feeling are 100% valid, but it doesn't make them true. After all, feelings aren't facts, but they certainly feel that way to you in the moment. You'll sit there and make up a whole story in your mind without ever asking yourself, is this true? You'll lean into some black and white thinking and go, well, if it's not this, then it has to be that. But did you ever stop to consider that the other person in this scenario might be having a completely different experience than you? That's why it's important to deploy the power of a self-check-in. That self-check-in allows you to get to know yourself on a much deeper level. You get to ask yourself, do I even like this person? Do I like myself when I'm with them? Do I like myself when I'm not with them? And is this person or situation in alignment with my goals, values, standards, and boundaries for a relationship with me? And am I holding these boundaries with myself and the other person? We talk about setting and holding boundaries with yourself on episode 113 of the Blueprint Podcast. When you learn to hold those boundaries with yourself, you're actually taking your personal power back from all the things that you've given it away to so freely. It allows you to develop a much deeper self-awareness. It's not easy, and it causes hella discomfort because you're taking ownership and responsibility over yourself. You're no longer meandering through life and your relationships waiting for somebody else to level up. It means that you're self-aware and you're actively choosing your relationships. This is what vetting your relationships look like. You're in the top 5. You're not the top 5. You're an acquaintance. You determine who gains access and who doesn't. You're learning that your relationships are an intentional daily choice that you make for the rest of your life. You realize that you don't get to be a passive passenger princess for the entirety of that relationship and that it requires you to take action. What does that action look like? It's going to be different for all the different relationships that you have. But you are an active and dynamic player in that game of love and life. It's not this brief sprint to get married and then you're golden for the next 50 years of your life. You realize that all the movies had it wrong and that you have to have a shared mission and vision. You have to have a 1, 3, 5, and 10-year plan that you're actively co-creating. You both regularly check in on that plan to make sure that you're achieving it. The other part of this that we don't talk enough about is that you actively eliminate any threats to your relationship, real or imagined. Meaning, you're not going to put yourself in a precarious position because you're dedicated to this relationship being successful. Some might see that as a sacrifice, but what exactly are you sacrificing here? What you're doing is holding each other accountable and not through poor communication or chronic criticism. You are speaking life and love into the person that you said that you want to be with. The person you made a commitment to. And if this part of the video makes you feel feelings and you say, yeah, but, or what if, go back to the beginning where we talk about vetting your relationships. You're actively choosing each other and co-creating your lives together, which means you're shifting into rupture and repair when things get difficult. It's not easy, and that's the point. Things fall apart because you think it's supposed to be easy. If you're in that place where you're trying to recapture that spark, just know it is absolutely possible. But you have to know your intentions and then rebuild from there.